Right now, you are going to discover how to activate your energetic senses. The same senses we have in our physical body, we also have in our energy body, and these allow us to perceive reality with greater awareness and clarity. Opening the doors of our perception not only helps us better identify our own energy blockages or those of others, but it is also a fundamental quality for developing the ability to heal with energy. That is why it is very important that you focus 100% on today's class if you want to complete it successfully. In case we haven't met yet, my name is Lukem, and I am the founder of the energy therapy school Alquimia Vital, where over the last few years we have helped thousands of people heal their physical or psychological ailments or become people capable of helping others heal. If you wish to learn more about Alquimia Vital and join my energy therapy school, you can book a completely free consultation with a specialist from my team using the link in this video's description. They will look into your specific case and, if we can help you, offer a training plan tailored to your needs. And having said that, let's begin today's class. As you can see here on the screen, the mind is the sense that synthesizes all the senses we have in our body. What does this mean? That even though we perceive smell, for example, through our nose, or vision through our eyes, ultimately, the one that synthesizes all our body senses is our mind. And although we often link the mind to our brain, the reality is that the mind goes much further than that, since apart from a physical body, as you may already know, we have an energetic body. And our energetic body ultimately receives all the information from our environment. It even has the capacity to feel and to think. And deep down, if we go even deeper, our energy field, is the substance our consciousness is made of. And as you may already know, the mind is not in the brain. The mind is actually consciousness. And that is precisely what energy therapy consists of. It is the understanding that if any physical ailment, right, ultimately stems from a blockage we have at an emotional or mental level, which is ultimately connected, right? Our physical body with the entire psychological aspect, even emotional or mental blockages, are also directly correlated with our energy field. Because regardless of the fact that our body reacts to our emotions by secreting, for example, chemical substances, generating pain, generating pleasure, in the first instance, before having that bodily reaction, there is a reaction in our energy field. That is to say, there is an energy in our energy field that causes our body to react in that specific way on a physical, mental, or emotional level. And that is why, just as I explained, right, that any physical or psychological reaction is preceded by an energetic reaction in our field, our senses are also preceded by an energetic reaction in our field, just like all other processes. And that is why we can even learn to feel, to perceive the senses, but through our energy field. And that, for example, can help us perceive an energy blockage through our hands. In other words, we can touch energy. It is something we are going to learn to do today. We can visually perceive energy. As you know, there are even people who have the ability, which is what is called seeing, to see with their eyes closed. Why? Because they see through the energy field. Otherwise, it cannot be explained. If our consciousness only remained in our physical body, people who can see with their eyes closed would not really exist. You may have even experienced it yourself. I have personally experienced it, and I am not the only one. There are many people. And that is why today you will learn to perceive with all your senses: touch, smell, vision, and even taste. And I am missing one. But anyway, you will learn to perceive all 5 senses through your energy field. So, without further ado, let us begin today's practice. As I mentioned before, it is very important that you focus 100% on today's practice and eliminate any kind of distraction. Because to perceive energy in the end, which is something subtle, it is very different from physical matter, but it can also be perceived. We need concentration. If we do not focus on today's practice, it will be much harder for us to perceive. Anyway, as this is probably the first time you are doing a practice of this kind, it is possible that in some senses or at some point in today's class, you might feel a little difficulty. But don't worry, in the end, our consciousness, this type of energy practice, is something that is trained over time. So I invite you to let go of that demanding part, let go of that part, right? That often sabotages us, and simply open yourself to the experience, letting it be what it needs to be. And that will really allow you to flow much better throughout the practice. So I invite you to join me in closing your eyes and taking a few deep breaths to enter a powerful inner state. I even invite you to smile with your lips. Setting an attitude, a loving intention. That you distribute your awareness throughout your entire body, feeling your feet. The legs. 亦都係嘅 arms and your head. So we are going to do a brief practice to activate the heart chakra. That will also better activate our energetic sensitivity. And now, what I invite you to do is to bring your attention to the center of your chest and visualize a white light. You can feel it, imagine it. You don't need to see it, just imagine it or feel it. A white light. Loving. It contains a very loving energy, like something very tender in the center of our chest. We will start feeling how that light expands more and more. Throughout our whole body, it comes out from the chest and expands throughout the entire body. I invite you to maintain a process of conscious breathing at all times. And now I invite you to bring your attention to the palms of your hands. You can place them face up on your lap or on a table if you are at a table, wherever you truly feel most comfortable. And I invite you to bring your attention to the space surrounding the palms of your hands. That is, as if you wanted to bring your awareness beyond the physical part of your palms, also all around them. And now we are going to activate the sense of touch. I invite you to feel how with every inhalation you breathe in energy through the palms of your hands. And with each exhale, how you exhale energy to the palms of your hands. That is, as you inhale, feel how your hands inhale. And as you exhale, feel how they exhale. Feeling how with each inhalation you inhale energy and with each exhale, how you exhale energy. Now, little by little, I invite you to lift your hands and bring them together parallel to each other. But without touching, meaning you bring them close with the intention of seeing what you feel, as if you wanted to explore and sense the space around the palms of your hands. My feet. What sensations arise? This is the first energy sense we are going to activate, which is that of the palms of the hands. It is actually the most important one because it is through the palms of our hands that a person truly performs energy therapy. There are obviously other factors involved, but the hands are a fundamental one. Now, what we have done is activate the chakras, the energy centers we have in our hands, to open up energy perception. Actually, unlike physical perception, which is obvious, it is not something we have from childhood. We are not taught to develop energetic perception. But now you yourself have been able to verify how, by bringing your hands together. You probably felt a magnetism between them, a warmth, like a tingling sensation. It is a unique sensation that each person feels in a slightly different way, as if they were sometimes two magnets repelling each other, that can also be felt. But the point is that you realize that even without touching, you can start to perceive that there is something in the space between your palms. Obviously, the more you practice this, the more you will be able to feel. It is something that develops, because in the end, these centers we have in our palms open up and expand. Therefore, you can feel more and more. Very well, let's move on to the next sense, which in this case we will perform through the following four, that is, hearing, smell, vision, and taste. To do this, what we are going to do is place the palms of our hands parallel to each other. And we are going to set the intention for energy to flow with a loving intention between the palms of our hands, with the intention of creating a ball of energy. You can feel as if you are exhaling, right? As if your hands were exhaling. And with a loving intention, a ball of energy. We are going to keep doing this practice for a few seconds. And now I invite you, once we have created this ball of energy, to bring your hand closer, to see and feel. Just as we explored between our hands before, now we are going to bring our hands closer with the intention of exploring this ball of energy. You will probably start to notice a subtle sensation. If not, as I said, don't worry about it. Open yourself to the experience because there are still more senses to explore. So once we have experimented a bit with the sense of touch, now what we are going to do is close our eyes. And set the intention. It can be perceived. The shape, the color of this energy ball. You can do it with your eyes open or closed, but you can really do it both ways. At first, it is sometimes easier to do it with your eyes closed and set the intention to perceive or sense what color you feel this ball is. How do you perceive it? And this is simply like closing your eyes and setting the intention to open yourself to perceive it, as if you wanted to see the color or the shape of this energy ball. There are times when, especially doing this exercise for the first time, the ideal thing is simply to set the intention to perceive, to intuit or feel what color it conveys to us. And that is one of the first things we can do to start opening the doors of our perception, opening ourselves to see or perceive or feel what color we intuit or feel, or what shape we intuit or feel this ball of energy has. So, the next step, what we are going to do now is take this ball of energy and move it a little closer to our face, as if we wanted to move it. And with our sense of smell, we will set the intention to smell it. What scent? That's how. What does this energy ball convey to me? It is simply as if you are going to smell it and set the intention to smell this ball of energy. Baby. Now, little by little, we are going to move this ball of energy, and what we will do is bring it toward our lips, as if we wanted to bring it a bit closer to our lips. We can even stick our tongue out a little, or by setting that intention through the tongue, mark a clear intention to want to taste, to perceive the energy through the sense of taste. Very well. Once we have passed the energy through our sense of case, what we are going to do is, while holding that same ball of energy, close our eyes and slowly bring it symbolically toward our sense of hearing, that is, toward the ear area, with the intention to open our energetic sense of hearing and perceive or intuit or feel what sound this ball of energy transmits to us. I invite you to remain open to the experience, breathing deeply. And opening your awareness to see what sound this ball of energy transmits to you. Very well, I invite you to slowly return, calmly and gradually, breathing deeply. I would be very grateful if you let me know in the comments how you experienced this, which senses you perceived most clearly, and if you were truly able to develop well in this practice. As I told you from the start, in the end, it is very important to keep practicing, to keep experimenting, because everything that has to do with energy perception is something that the more we practice, the more it opens up. And obviously, in the end, when we learn to heal with energy and apply it therapeutically, it can help us a lot to see other people's blockages more clearly, our own blockages, and therefore truly be able to heal our own imbalances or those of others with more clarity. And so, if you want to keep learning with me, as I have told you from the start, in the first comment of this video and in the link you will find in the description, you can book a totally free consultation with a specialist from my team who will analyze and delve into your particular case. And in the event that we can help you, they will offer you a trading plan adapted to your needs. See you in future classes. Peace.